All right, so this is, I guess, the redo of what we just did.
Yes.
I mean, this is what the show is all about.
Do over.
Right now. This is Entrepreneurs En Fuego. We're broadcasting live. Over 100,000 people are going to be watching, listening to this podcast, hopefully here through Periscope live, because there's a lot of people that are going to be interested in listening to your story. Kenyatta, you're our first guest. This is the show Entrepreneurs En Fuego, where entrepreneurs come here and meet, man. They're going to come and tell their stories, their personal stories. And I know you work for LegalShield.
I do.
Tell me a little bit more about you.
Oh, gosh. I am... Been in
How old are you?
Whoa,
No, I'm just kidding. No, you don't have to answer that.
I can
You
answer
take
that.
the-
No, I won't answer that. But yeah, I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And as far as LegalShield is concerned, it is my business. I'm an independent associate and a manager for LegalShield. And I've been in the business about 12 months now.
But all right. But you've been in this industry for much longer, because I remember I met you a while ago, and you were working for somebody else, right? You were working in a different industry.
I was. I've spent the past 21 years working in higher education. So
All right.
I've worked at
So-
colleges all across.
All right, so that's cool.
Phoenix.
So what happens to somebody like you? You're working for higher education for all this period of time, and so what do you just wake up one day and you go, shit, I gotta go and do something else. I gotta go and go to LegalShield, or what happens? What clicks?
That's pretty much what happened. I woke up one day after 21 years of working in higher ed and decided I didn't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to work for anyone else anymore. And I knew there was something else out there for me. I didn't know what, but I knew I had to find it, so I quit.
Okay, so, but you know, after 21 years, you have to have something that really, you have to have been thinking about, I've got to quit, I got to do something else. I mean, something that there was a run up to your decision.
I think that inside I've always had the drive to be an entrepreneur and have my own business. I just wasn't ever sure what it would be. However, I never did anything to pursue it. It was in the back of my mind. But there just came a point where I almost really woke up one day and thought, I've already been doing this 21 years. Where will I be here 20 more years? And I didn't know the answer was yes anymore. And so I realized the answer could be no. So if it could be no, then what else out there was there for me? I didn't know. So I quit.
Got it. But as an entrepreneur, did you think about, all right, now I'm awakened and I'm having my cup of coffee going, I gotta do something.
Right.
Did you think, oh, this is going to be risky? I no longer have the security, or was it the decision that you said, fuck it?
Yeah,
I'm just going to go.
That's pretty much because I'm standing there at the cliff. I'm looking over.
Yeah.
I know it's risky. I know I may fail. I know this. I know that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I had a little money socked away. I figured there was a little period of time that I could afford to make this crazy decision I was about to make.
But it wasn't that crazy though.
Well, it was crazy in that I didn't know what I was actually going to do when I left. Right?
Okay.
But I figured, worst case scenario, I can get another job.
So you didn't know that you were going to go into LegalShield.
No.
You just knew that you wanted to be an entrepreneur.
LegalShield. Correct. I hadn't heard of it.
Okay. And so there is a fire that lights up inside you.
En fuego.
En fuego. Right. There you You're just making my job much easier, man. So, all right. So you've got this en fuego. You have this fire, and you're thinking to yourself, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to change my life. Did anybody inspire you to do that, to take that step? Was an event that occurred? Did you have a fight at work? I mean, did somebody mentor you? Did somebody inspire you? Did you feel that, or was it just as a solo decision?
I would say maybe there was two things. One, I'd been in the industry for so long. I was extremely passionate every single day I was at work until I wasn't passionate anymore.
Oh, okay.
When that passion changed, I started questioning my future in that industry because something changed just with the industry, with maybe I'd been doing it for 20 years, lots of different things. So I think that kind of inspiration happened when all of a sudden my passion started changing about what I was doing and how I was going about doing it, right, in this industry, in higher education. The next thing though, my mom has always been an entrepreneur. My dad always worked for companies, my mom was always an entrepreneur, so I had these two very different visions. I happened to follow my dad's path first. Then I started considering her path.
Did your family say, well, you gotta follow this path because it's the most secure path, and this is the safety way that you should go, or was it a kind of just your own decision?
It was my own decision. My mom, always encouraged me to be an entrepreneur because she was, but she also encouraged me to go to school and things like that, which I did. So, it wasn't like anyone was pulling me in any different direction. I made those choices on my own, but it just happens to be I followed one path first. And then now it seems like I'm going in the direction that my mom went. So I think I talked to her actually about it, and she said, of course she said, do it, you know?
All right, so there you are. You've made your decision. Did you give a 30-day notice? What happens next?
I gave 2 weeks.
You give it 2 weeks?
I gave 2 weeks.
And what did the people say? Oh, you're crazy.
They thought I was crazy. They're like, what are you doing? No one believed me. And they all thought, okay, well, you must have another job lined up. You must be going somewhere else. And I'm like, no, I'm just leaving. And my answer to them is, I need to go and build my own empire. Well, what are you going to do? I don't know, but I need to go build my own empire. So you can't give me enough vacation for me to figure out what's going on in my head right now, because I'm not even sure. I got to get out of here.
Your passion was the fact, what you knew is that you had to get out to pursue something. But it wasn't necessarily the LegalShield team that you
I'd never even heard of LegalShield at that point. No.
But it was something that fueled you. And that's what we're trying to find, because a lot of people that are going to be looking at this and they're going to be listening to this, and it's going to be periscoping right here, they're going to be wanting to know, heck, I could be that person. I've worked my whole life, 15 years, 20 years in the same job, and all of a sudden there's something that is sparking right here in my head, and I want to do that. I want to take that leap. I want to go somewhere. And I have that passion, and you just took that step, right?
I just took the step.
All right, so you give the 2-week notice, and then what? What happens? Fast forward, you're 30 days into it, and you're like, okay, do I still have that passion? Did you question yourself?
No, not at all. Because, right away I just started talking to people who, had businesses. And I mean, my mind was open and my heart was freed, I think, for me just to think, just to, sleep in a couple days and wake up and go, oh man, what did you just do? But then also the sense of promise that people do this all the time. That, they really do. There's people, business owners everywhere. And so how, if they could find a way, then I knew I could find a way. So my mom actually told me one day, just come with me to this networking event, it's called Women I Should Know, WISC. She goes, you need to go talk to some women who, have their own businesses and things like that, and come. I'd never been to a networking event like that. So we went, and I stood up and I said, hey, I just, left my job that I loved of 21 years, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but maybe some of you have some ideas for me. And they're like, what are you talking about? And someone came up to me and introduced me to LegalShield.
There are, to be sure, a lot of people out there that are, like I said again, they're watching, they're listening to this thing, and there's somebody out there who is an African American woman who is thinking, I gotta quit my job. And did you find it that it was harder for you to make that decision and to enter the entrepreneurship world by being an African American first and second, a woman? Or did you ever think in those terms? Did you ever think, oh, I have these limitations, or I have these things, or did you not think about that?
I never think in those terms.
You were thinking in terms of, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to be competing in equal footing. In fact,
doesn't mean anything. I never think
everybody beware because I'm better than everybody else.
I've always thought that way. So that's the way I was raised. I've never thought in any sort of way that have put any types of limitations on myself ever. So did I know that if I decided to make a decision to do something that I would succeed at it? Well, that's how I go into anything that I do. So this was just
you were not finding excuses.
No,
potential excuses. You're looking ahead. You're looking, I am going to be successful.
Right. Well, and I even thought, even if I'm not successful as an entrepreneur, worst case scenario, always had in the back of my head, go get a job. I have my education. I have my experience. Why couldn't I just go get a job if that's what I needed to do? And maybe while I even build my empire. But I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm done doing what I was doing. There's more out there for me, and I need to just go figure out what that is.
What you had to lose was the never knowing that you could have done something for yourself.
Yes, and that thought scared me. I sat there at my desk one day going, if I don't do this, I'll never know. And that fear of loss was enough for me to put in my notice and say, I'm not going to look back 20 years from now and go, gosh, I had that thought that day sitting at my desk and I didn't do it. I stayed here. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing that really pushed me out. Did
you have, let's fast forward, did you have a lot of support? Did you have a support group? I know your mom and your father, but do you have friends and everybody that said, go Kenyatta? Or did you have people going, there's always haters out there?
Always. And so I had a little bit of both. I think I had more support than anything, but I think the people who know me closest were shocked. because I'd always been, I got my degrees, my bachelor's, my master's. I'd always had a job, a very stable job. I always moved forward in my career. And I think that even for them, they were just like, what's Kenyatta going through? What's going on with her right now? And I'm like, cool. I don't know. I'm out of here, midlife crisis, whatever you want to call it, but I think that they were shocked, but they were supportive because they know me to be someone who's very driven, that if I make my mind up, she'll figure it out. So,
and that is, that conveys in the passion as we're talking right now. And full disclosure, I became a member of LegalShield myself.
Yes, you did.
And the reason that I did that is because of your passion and the education that you give your clients. And I don't want to sound like a fucking, infomercial or anything like that, but this is the truth, because you are a very passionate individual. You convey your message in an incredibly crisp, clear way that even I can understand. And I understood it. So that's the full disclosure. But having said that, what's in store? Now you became a member of the Office Pal, which we're very grateful. And how do you see yourself growing with your LegalShield business? Because I know that you're doing extremely well and you're using this space for seminars and everything else. Tell me where you're going.
Well, I love it for many different reasons. One, I could just work from home, which I enjoy. I'm not someone who needs to be somewhere else to work. But I fell in love with this place from the first time that I came here. I loved everything about it. The people here, the energy, it's inspiring. It's a very creative environment. And so becoming a member of the Office Pal just made sense, because now I can work here when I need to and meet my clients, which I love. And using the space for an event. I just had my very first, little private business reception here in the Attico South, and it was a huge success. We had people showing up, we had fun, everything was wonderful. And for me, it's a chance to help continue to educate people about what LegalShield does, because 2/3 of Americans never even heard of it. So just by me being here in this space, I think that I've already opened some people's eyes to what LegalShield really is all about, more so than just someone in passing that they meet at a networking event. And so for me, it gives me an opportunity to continue on my mission, which is to have every single North American have this membership. So every little bit that I can do to help that, I think the Office Pal helps me along with that. However, I get to meet amazing people that I get to help too, just by being here. So just by osmosis, I'm connecting with people in a way that we're able to help each other and building some great relationships. So I love it.
And that's awesome. Look, I mean, we really appreciate you as a member, but it's the story that you're telling, how your passion fueled your independence and your ability to get out from a 9 to 5 and go it on from a 4 o'clock in the morning to whenever.
Whenever.
And a lot of entrepreneurs do not understand that, right? And a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to be master of my own hours and everything else. I can do anything I want. But it actually, it's a commitment. It's about being disciplined.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people, I think, and they want to be their own boss, but they don't want to boss themselves around, so but they have to realize they do have to be disciplined. Some people, I think, and unfortunately find that they aren't as disciplined as they thought they were when it really comes down to what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur.
What's the secret? What's the secret?
The secret? I don't know if there's a secret. I think you have to make
Is there a cocktail of secrets?
No, I don't think there's a secret.
There's one secret?
I think that everyone has to have their reason for doing it in the first place. I think that is the secret. I think that if your why is important enough to you, sometimes we say your why has to make you cry. It has to be so important to you that you will stop at nothing to accomplish it. That's the secret. If your why doesn't make sense or you aren't even sure about what it is, then you won't do what it takes. You won't go through the brick wall. You won't, because it's not that important to you. But if it is that important to you, you will stop at nothing to accomplish it. So I think that is the secret. You have to have an important why.
How do you find the why?
I didn't go looking for it.
Just keep calling.
It just
at some point.
At some point, and I want to go wherever I want, when I want, how I want, spend as much money as I want, with whoever I want for as long as I want. So how do I create that? No one's going to create that for me, right? So that's kind of where my why starts. I don't want to be held down. I got stuff to do. I don't even know what, but I want to do it when I want to do it, right? So it came looking for me. I didn't go looking for it, I don't think.
People can find you here at the Office Pile. There's a number that is probably running right underneath here. And people are going to call, they're going to ask about you. We're going to tell your story, man, because your story is compelling. And that inspiration is clear. It's very natural. And that message is what this show is all about, because that's what we want to convey. This is for you.
That was pretty cool.
Check it out. This is for being our first guest.
Beautiful.
Oh,
thank you. I love that.
Courtesy of our mayor.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, man.